All right, everybody, we're going to get going here in just a few minutes. I just wanted to warm up the room. Everybody was chatting, and I could see it in the backstage. So I figured, you know what? We're going to highlight some chats and get things going. So kick back, relax, grab yourself a beverage, pull something up on the TV, on the side. Do what you got to do to get comfortable. But we're going to have some fun. We're going to bring in some friends. And we're going to have a good time tonight. So stick around, tell your friends. Be back.
Let's go! Are you getting ready? It's Friday. Grab a beverage. Do what you gotta do. And let's go!
All right, everybody, but for real, it's a 2-minute warning. We back. It's time. Go hit the bathroom. Go do what you got to do because we're getting started. We're bringing some of the band back together. It's going to be great. 2-minute warning. Oh, you know what that means. You know what it means. Here, we'll put the vibes back on. You know what it means. That means it's time to come on in. So get up, get your drink. Grogu's hanging out in the corner. It's time to get going. Come on, let's go. You guys don't want to be left behind. Come on. All right. What's up, everybody? How you doing? Yeah, we're back. So we took some time. Everybody was survivoring it up. Things were things were busy. Everybody was doing stuff. So we took a little break and we reassessed how we're gonna do some things. We're changing. Oh man, I didn't even turn on the guys tonight. What's going on? There we go. Yeah, we're gonna reassess how we do some things around here. We're gonna continue to bring you guys some fun, some entertainment, and not taking all this so serious. So yeah, that's what we're gonna start with. That's where we're going. So we're gonna bring in the homies. We got some people from the old days. We're gonna do more of this group streaming because I think this is what we enjoy doing. I mean, we do this when we game. All we do is talk about stuff. So I figured it's time to get back in the motions. So yeah, let's get back in the motions. We got one of the. Oh, I love doing that. Okay.
What's up?
What's up, dude? We got one of the homies back. Matt Cave is here. Now, the channel name is now Matt Cave Gaming. In case you haven't kept up with what's going on, Matt Cave has changed his name back to Matt Cave Gaming. So it seems to be helping him out algorithmically, if that's a word.
I think it is now.
I think it is now. And so, yeah, in case you guys don't know, that is something new that's going on for the Matt Cave. And yeah, dude, so how's it been? We're, Hawks is always trailing late behind.
It's all good. Hey, listen, we give him as much time as he needs. That he's one of the hardest working dudes.
What's going on behind you? Are you in an arcade now? What things have
we're making changes, man. Oh, Matt Cave is evolving.
Evolution.
We are getting it done. We are making sure that algorithm knows we exist.
I'll tell you what, that new camera system you got going really makes you crisp. I mean,
tell you, this program, I can't praise it enough.
I know.
From a company called Reincubate. It's called Camo. It's free. Check it out.
Yo, what's up?
What up?
Dude? He back.
Yeah.
We back. You hot, girl.
Dude,
what do you mean, like
you
microphone wise?
You are hot. Yes.
It's the Last Jedi shirt, isn't it?
Yeah, that must have been what it is. It must have been what it is.
It's too much, chat.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay. I mean, I gotta stay true to form.
I have a Force Awakens shirt. I can go change if you want.
I mean, if you're into copy pasta, sure. I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not starting it off that way, guys. Can we rewind? Can I come back in?
You can come back in. You mean coming in hot? So let's talk about so we haven't talked to any Star Wars anywhere other than when we're gaming, playing Hours of Diablo or DMZ or any of the things we get into off the air. But we really haven't talked about what's going on in the space lately. I mean, I am like negligent. And 2 hours into Survivor, I can't lie. I have neglected that just because there was too many people streaming it. I didn't want to watch it and get ruined. But yeah,
I'm negligent and 2 days away from uninstalling it off my computer. So,
oh boy.
Well, it's funny.
It takes up a lot of space right now. It's like a
huge.
paperweight on my hard drive.
But there, that it on the PS5, it's fantastic.
Yes.
So I'm just saying, it's great on. And
I'm not knocking anything about like story, etc. But the PC version is trash.
Yeah, the PC version, from what I've heard, is trash outright. And well, I guess we'll start with Survivor. I know most of the storyline. I know a lot of people were not happy in the earlies, but then it got better and it got better and it got better. What do you guys think? You guys have been through it, right?
Oh yeah, I'm already through it again. It's it's
that kind of game.
It really, just like Fallen Order was, it draws you in for the new game plus. The story keeps evolving, like you were saying. It just keeps getting better and better as you go. The thing I love the most about it was how deep into Jedi lore this one went. It took it to a new level. And it's interesting because a lot of people are like, oh, Fallen Order was better. And I'm like, well, I almost can't compare the two. They're very different from each other.
Well, yes. I mean, the stories ultimately are, the story of a lost boy, basically, finding his way back to his calling, but, and then the second one is more, answering that call, right? And diving into the depth of the old order, which leads us to that High Republic era that they've been trying to promote for a while. I feel like it's a good way to introduce some new era content to, especially the young, right? If you're gonna hook them young, hook them with a video game, and then they want to go out and buy books. You don't really do it the other way. I feel like, yes, the High Republic books have been out there, and this gives people some background. And Hawks and I have talked a lot about the main villain in the story for a long
Martian
time.
Row.
And now we understand a little more, but it feels like if they would have released the game and then some books and then some animation, it's easier to hook people with games because they feel like that individual. You play Uncharted, you feel like Drake, you play this, you feel like Cal Kestis. I mean, if they did this in VR, literally you would be. So the introduction of the High Republic, I feel, is a great way to get it started.
Yeah, they could have just mimicked the old Republic. It started in games primarily. There were some very early on books that happened around that along with the release of those games, but most everyone joined the story of Old Republic through video games. And I agree, if they would have taken the High Republic and started it that way, I feel like everyone would be talking about it way differently now.
Yeah, you saw how much hype they got from just the trailer for that video game Eclipse.
Yes.
I mean, one thing I'll say is I think the strategy was good. Pandemic, everything that was going on, a lot of people were home. So let's launch comics, let's launch novels, let's do audiobooks. I feel like the sequels, not for nothing, kind of set everything up for failure after that fact that was drastically different from the Star Wars people are used to. I think that it vibes very well for people who are prequel fans. So anyone who is interested, I think now is the time. The introduction of the Nile, like just naming them in this game, they're the main villain from there. And the Jedi actually fear them because they're able to do things like get through the Koba abyss. Literally nobody knows how they did that. The game still doesn't explain that. So they're a threat.
When they name drop them, I thought of you.
Yeah.
As soon as they mentioned the Nile, I was like, Scotty's gonna lose his mind.
Yeah, and like the cool thing what the game did is it set up things like the Koba Abyss. Like we're talking galaxies, guys. Like this stuff is gonna get crazier. We're potentially gonna be trying to save Ezra from the unknown regions. You saw all of those weird space jumps they were doing in the sequels, and there is some crazy shit out there. Like, I just think it's cool that this game introduced something conceptually so different than what we've seen before. And it just opened my speculation to, like, the Nile could still be a threat in the unknown regions. In what's the other space? There's like unknown regions, and then there's like wild space. Space is something I'm super fascinated in because they name drop it even in Aftermath trilogy. So we're gonna go into these other areas, and I'll end my rant there. The High Republic kind of shot itself in the foot, though, obviously expecting people to be more into reading comics. I think they just underestimated how many people are hyped about comics nowadays.
Yeah,
it's kind of a niche.
Well, and Star Wars comics have not always performed well, even when they're awesome, right? The Vader comic line didn't do as well as not a lot of people have heard about it. That was a great series.
That's one of the most notable ones.
Right, but even that didn't do great, right?
Mhm.
In the grand scheme of things. So
It's like I said, this niche knowledge that, like, if you're a lore seeker like us, you go find this stuff, and when you do, you're like, holy shit, there's like awesome Star Wars here.
Mm-hmm.
All the power sets of these Jedi, like, it's stuff we don't see in the prequels. It's stuff we see in Visions. Like, it's so crazy to me that people are so accepting of stuff like Visions, but they won't stick to like go read this because it's canon, bro. Like, these Jedi existed. We could see holocrons from them in the future sequel movies, and you have no idea who they are. You know what I mean? So I love it. I just seek the knowledge.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
Well,
That's a great question.
That is a good question. So, as I understand it, wild space is basically the uncharted sea, right?
They are mapped on the star chart.
Lots
So
of
they're
like
in
space
different
pirates
areas.
and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's just the Wild West out there. There's
Yeah.
no police, there's no Galactic Republic, there's no empire. It's just the Wild West, from what I understand. And then the unknown regions are literally just that, the unknown regions of hyperspace.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna say too, like, unknown regions is about half of one whole side outside the outer rim, and wild space is in a lower eastern corner of what we know. So unknown regions and wild space are definitely two completely opposite different places in space. So they can take their stories into one and they can take their stories into the other, and they don't have to connect, really.
Well, and look, I mean, it seems like there was a lot more going on in, I mean, what, all but Yoda dies in the old from the High Republic eras, right? I mean,
say again, sorry.
There have been a couple orders of Jedi, and Yoda being the survivor of one, right? The last survivor. There are stories that they have no idea about. Right, that
we
we're
lost Scotty.
We might have.
No, I'm here.
There are stories and temples and all kinds of stuff all over the galaxy that were built during the High Republic time that could still be undiscovered. Right, Tython.
Yeah,
Tython could have been a massive Jedi temple during that time frame, but then come the Nile, come whomever, and that stuff is I mean, a millennia is a long time.
Yeah, like the scene with Grogu sitting on top of that spot.
Mm-hmm.
I always kind of felt like that was the top of a temple, like it's just ages old, like just been covered, but
covered by mountain and dirt. I mean, for all we know.
Yeah,
right.
That's been my theory. I mean, we talked about this years ago, and how it compares to the orbs that are in the first game, Jedi Fallen Order.
The Zepho. I mean,
I think that could be inside an old temple, and it's just there as everything else is gone.
Well, that's even look at the scenes in Survivor where you go into these temples, and you're hearing the recordings from Jedi from the High Republic and their teachings, the way they were, went about it. And I loved they didn't name every single character that you heard. Sometimes it would say fearful Jedi, cautious Jedi. They had they referred to them as their emotional state. And it was interesting how they went about each one of those tasks. And it kind of helped you solve the riddle in that temple based on what the Jedi before you went through. It was really cool how they handled that.
Well, and it seems like, moving into where we are now, it seems like Cal Kestis lives. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
There could be a third game, but more importantly, coming to our current timeline, right, is where we're trying to catch up to. So this is what, 5 years?
I think that's where the first one took place, right?
Yeah,
Well, the
first
first
one
one
was
was like
5 or 6 years after
Mhm.
Order 66, and then this is I don't really remember how long they said it
I
was.
mean, it's been a couple years. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, at least.
you know, everybody's on their own. Greaves has got a bar.
Mhm.
You know, Sears sitting in Jocasta News library. You know,
9 BBY.
Okay.
And
Okay,
Fallen
so-
Order occurs 14 BBY. So
Okay,
5 year, another 5 year jump.
so 9 BBY. So this is right about the time. This is right about the time of Kenobi.
Yeah, it's got to be somewhere in that range where
Before, probably after.
Yeah.
yeah.
Exact same time frame.
Probably.
So right in line with it. Okay.
Okay.
Yep, 9
perfect.
to 10 BBY.
Okay. So
And I think they confirm, like, you can confirm that based on the age of Leia and other things that are happening and taking
right,
place.
Luke's about
So,
10, Leia's about
Mhm.
10. Okay, so this is about the time that Kenobi becomes the Obi-Wan that we see.
Dale's
in-
already on it. I'm
in,
in.
Nice.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is, you know, Cal Kestis could be seen in more stuff, is what I'm saying.
Yes,
We
sir.
could get the live action Cameron mess
Monahan.
that up.
Mhm.
Mhm.
We could see him in some Jedi robes, potentially in some of the shows that people are not excited about, right? Kenobi season 2. We could potentially see an old man Kestis at some point in another show, right? Or he could just stay in video game form. But
Mhm.
for him, for this story being linear with Kenobi, it's a very good opportunity for, you know, Kenobi to come out of hiding a little bit, right? I mean,
Yeah.
his focus is Luke. I've always said that was one of my larger gripes with the show is you just left the little dude. He's the superstar to the next generation, and you just left the little dude. But all things aside, yeah, this could be the path. This could be something with Quinlan Voss. This could be something with, you know, within that leads to which leads us further. So I'm excited that they're continuing Cal's journey,
Mhm.
and the timeline could meet up to where we could see Cal Kestis after potentially Maul's death, right? Because that's just a few years away. I think Luke was 15 or 16, so that's still, you know, 5 or 6 years away.
Mhm.
There's a lot of opportunity with Cal, especially because the actor's so young. It's easier to age progress than age degress, right? It's easier
Yeah, and I
to
think
age
it's
up than de-age.
pretty obvious that they're name dropping the path now after Kenobi. And it's really all about the end of the first game and how Cal says, we'll let the Force decide. And the Force is going to literally decide, yeah,
Right.
you're the homie that's going to help save all these Force sensitives. So,
Right. And that's what I'm saying. This could be a potential meetup with Quinlan Voss. This could be a potential, you know, seeing his name on the wall in Kenobi potentially. I didn't really
Yeah.
get to decipher everything that was on those walls.
That was the
Right.
thing. I want to go back and look for screenshots and freeze frames of that. You know, I know it's all written in Orabesh and everything, but people decipher that all the time. But like you said, we had the Quinlan Voss references in there.
Mhm.
That could be an epic team up in Jedi Fallen Order 3 or whatever, you know, whatever the title will be.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, it's very, it opens a lot of doors more than it closes, right?
Yeah.
And leading us into, you know, what's coming now is, I mean, this is the summer of Ahsoka. This is what everybody's going to be talking about all summer. This is this is the probably.
Before we shift gears to Ahsoka, chat.
Yes.
The third game, one word answers only. Jedi blank.
Ooh.
You have to name the game.
Ooh.
One word only, like Survivor. Go. Anyway, Ahsoka. Now everyone's gonna think of a name.
You know, I got a name.
Okay.
Path.
Oh, okay, the path.
Jedi Path or
Jedi
Jedi
Path.
the Path or something.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Just right in your face.
Right,
like
just yeah.
I'd play the heck out of that. Could you imagine mission after mission of
Saving
getting
Padawans.
Padawans through and
Hell,
avoiding
yes.
Inquisitors and all this
Hell,
stuff? Oh
yes.
man.
Or
That would
letting
be
us
cool.
figure out exactly how the path works and how they keep it hidden.
Yep.
You know?
Well, yeah, I mean, like, we see the Mandalorians have their tricks, right? With the writing on the wall, with the
Symbols.
the symbols and all that. And so it's very easy for it would be easy for them to do something of that nature, right? It would be really easy to, a carving or a specific, image that leads everybody a certain way. I mean, because they already had that with the path as it is, right? So it just feels like that's kind of a no-brainer that's an easy pull. But let's get into I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Let's get into so so big month coming up in August, right? Big month.
I gotta tell you, I already know it's gonna be good. I already know. And I know exactly why.
Okay, please lay it on us.
Ahsoka debuts on my birthday. It's my birthday present this year.
Okay.
There's no way it's gonna fail.
Okay.
Just saying.
Okay. All right. I can dig it.
Ain't no way.
Ain't no way.
Ain't no way they're gonna do me like that. Okay, so Ahsoka debuts in August, and this is, it's funny because I have been paying attention over the last month or so, and I've been that's a good one. There you go. That's a pretty good one.
Totally forgot he's got dark side in him.
It seems like there's a lot of people that are weary. Let's be gentle. There's people that are weary of Dave Filoni and his what they describe as him ruining George Lucas's Star Wars, is what the masses are worried about.
Could I ask a question about that?
Sure.
Because I'm a little behind on all the things latest, as far as news and what we're all talking about with Star Wars and everything. Kind of been caught up in other worlds. And I don't know when the shift happened. Suddenly, everyone who used to love Dave Filoni suddenly has turned on him. And I don't know why. I don't know what caused it. It just, everything went from Filoni's the savior to screw that guy. And somewhere I missed the transition.
Well,
I still like him. I wasn't told not to.
Well, okay, so here's what it is. Let's call a spade. To the people that are not on the Dave train, let's say, my thoughts on the subject are they are not happy with anything that isn't the perfection that is George Lucas's Star Wars, because it was all perfect the whole way through, from episode 4, 5, 6, doing the story out of order, to 1, 2, 3 as the sequel prequels. But that's how I view the gripe, is that Dave and Disney are hand in hand out to destroy George Lucas's legacy. That's how I view it.
That's heavy.
Is something wrong with the gravitational force in the future?
Yeah, there's that word again.
There's that word again. Heavy.
That's the thing. Like, I don't understand. It was like what Eli's saying. It was just, we got blindsided by the hate. Like, it came out, for me at least, and I guess I'm not alone. it came out of nowhere because it was a huge transition, a sudden move of just Dave is great, Dave's doing awesome, I trust what he's going to do, everything's going to be awesome, to all of a sudden he's doing everything wrong. And I don't even know how that can be, because
Well, does anybody in the chat feel that way? Because it would help us understand.
Yeah, let's
too.
take our 10
This is a
person
take.
poll.
Yeah, I mean, set it up for sure. This is a take. I'm a Reddit guy nowadays, and the posts get bumped. So, people vote it up if they agree or disagree. Someone said the same thing that Matt said. Maybe I'm too blinded by good work he has done, but I want to understand why some people dislike him. Constructive criticism, please.
Well, okay,
the most bumped comment was, while I don't personally dislike him, a lot of people liken his work to fan fiction, particularly in the way that he crams his overpowered OC, I don't know what that means, such as Ahsoka, into every project he can get his
original
hands on.
content.
You could also argue that he relies too heavily on fan service to carry some of his stories, but this has been a problem with Disney in general lately. Another one was that he cannibalizes the EU whenever he...
Well, what is he supposed to do? I mean, really? Okay,
I don't get that critique about the EU because people you want that included, right? You guys when they do that.
So John and Dave created this show, and here's where I feel the transition has happened, right?
Yeah.
So John and Dave create this show, and this show being The Mandalorian. And the first season, everybody is like,
"Oh my God, this is amazing! This show is so new! What a great show!"
Right? And so everybody's happy, right?
But there's a lot. The side of that is the Grogu.
Hold on. So season one, I'm going in legit order. Season 1 in the reactions is
Season 1. Oh my God! Look at Grogu. He's so cute. Look at this little guy. He's so cute. Right?
All right. That's season 1, and it ends, and we see the Darksaber, and everybody's like,
"Holy shit! The Darksaber! Ah! They brought it out of the
right? How did he get it? Where did it come from? All that fun stuff, right? And then season 2 comes on, and everybody's like,
"Yawn. Season 2 is so boring. Yada yada yada."
Holy shit! It's Luke Skywalker! Oh my God! Season 2 is the best shit ever!
Right? So it goes from season 1, it's super awesome, right? And then season 2 comes, and they're like, it's kind of flat. And then Luke shows up, and it's like, holy shit, Luke's here. It's all better. And then we take a 2-year break, right? And in that break, we have everybody going back and saying, "Oh, season 1 sucked. It was slow. The story was boring. It was mission of the week, whatever." Then season 2 came along, and they're like, "Oh, season 2 sucked too, because the only thing that came out of it was Luke." And it's like, you have too much time between shows because you're hating on it because you have nothing else to fill the space. Then Book of Boba comes out, and everybody's like, "Oh, Boba Fett sucks," right? The best part, but the
best part of Boba Fett was the Mandalorian. If the Mandalorian stole it,
right? And then we get season 3 of Mando, and all of a sudden it's,
well, now they're just being woke. Now it's just being woke, and Lizzo and celebrity of the week.
That's what it is, dude. That's what it is. Is everybody that didn't like Mando season 3 is on the hate train, because again, Dave more than John, because John's golden to the people that hate Disney, although he helped make Disney what it is now. But everybody hates Dave, and so Dave is now the guy on the cross taking the blows because Mandalorian season 3 didn't live up to everybody's expectation because they're trying to tell a bigger story.
And correct me if I'm wrong, from my understanding, season 3 of Mando Favreau took more control over than Filoni because Filoni is doing Ahsoka. Am I wrong, or is that correct?
Say that again.
Did Jon Favreau take over the majority of season 3 of Mando because Dave Filoni was working on Ahsoka?
No, it's kind of always been John's show, right? With Dave advising. It's always been John's show, right? The writing, he wrote the first season. He may have he's come in and ushered in some new directors, bringing in some people he likes to work with to direct and to exec produce. So no, Dave has always been more of a consultant and a team of working. He's been more on the side watching and learning how to direct live action, learning how to direct people and all that fun stuff. But ultimately, The Mandalorian has always been John's project, with Dave consulting and exec producing.
Gotcha.
And that's the interesting part, is now all of a sudden they're like, well, Dave's trying to ruin George's legacy. Dave is ruining it. And it's like, I get the distaste for the management of Disney over the last decade. I get it. There's a lot of mishandling that went on. Even, if you watch my Star Cruiser video, even in there, there was some mishandling by executives, continue to want to put their hand in the cookie jar. And this happened with the sequels. People are still sore. And then it's easy to shit on things. It's easy
it's so much easier to just
to create a negative narrative. It's hard to always be positive. But to be honest,
that boy Steve, I'll change the shirt.
Yeah, I mean, look, Dave is focusing on the bigger picture stuff, and to be honest, John is following that blueprint, right? Dave is the one working on Thrawn. Dave is the one that introduced Thrawn into Rebels, right? Dave is responsible for a lot of these characters from the EU. So people do say that. They do say that Jon Favreau or John and Dave steal from the EU and cherry pick what they want to use just for their purposes now. And you know what? Yeah, that's why they decanonized everything. So they can utilize just that.
Yeah. Because they can't just tell those stories anymore. We're too far gone.
But there's so many of all stories, right? So many people wrote so much stuff in the EU and Legend Days. You would make nobody happy.
Oh yeah.
Nobody would be happy in some facet, right? Because somebody on one side would be like, this is awesome. And somebody would be like, oh, they ruined it. Right. So nobody would have been happy there. Ultimately, what they did was the best decision possible, in my humble little stupid opinion, is that decanonizing it and then going back and cherry picking what you want to take out of it. That's the smartest move that Disney has made. Now, people aren't going to like that. Look, I love the Ahsoka novel. I've got like 6 copies, right? Guess what? They cherry picked from that too.
Yeah, even that doesn't 100% work anymore.
So, they do it all around the board. I want them to do it with Plagueis.
Yes.
Right? Yes. Make Plagueis a movie. Right? Make Plagueis a show.
I think Acolyte can lead to that.
Absolutely.
I agree.
But I think you got to have something dark in the burner first. You got to have something dark in the oven first, because that's a bloody tale. Right? The story of Palpatine is a bloody tale. And I think you got to get the grease on the wheels early for that rated R Star Wars movie.
Yeah,
we already have it. Deadpool 3. I'm serious. That's going to be a hard R mature movie on Disney Plus.
Because that opens the door to Star Wars and Lucasfilm being able to do the same thing
in there. So
that's great. I want that to happen, because if that happens, that opens the door to something like Plagueis that could be really dark and twisted. Right? We could get a lot of those scenes cut straight out of the book. Right? I mean, there's a lot of fun that could be had there. Yeah, look, Eli, I agree. Everybody's got an agenda. Okay? Everybody's got an agenda. Right, left, up, down, A, B, start, select, whatever your agenda is, right? Everybody's got an agenda. And yes, she has said some things like the Force is female and she wants to do more with female characters and so on and so forth. Yes, she has said that. And as the CEO of a company, she has every right to say those things. I'm not the CEO of Lucasfilm, nor is anybody else that I know, because if they were, we'd be rolling through the ranch, right? But we're not, right? This woman has been appointed, and newsflash, I mean, really, she was a George appointee, kind of, right? This is what everybody forgets. This is the person George wanted to leave in charge. So shit on Kathleen all you want. Ultimately, shit on George if you want to shit on Kathleen, because George is the one that put her in the position in the first place. So
and
put something in the comment.
Saying these things, like, she's not trying to tear people down by saying these things. She's just trying to empower other people. That those people might not be you in that moment, but are you trying to tell me that her saying the Force is female, she's trying to take empowerment away from other fans?
But look,
like,
I mean,
that's
if
where
you
I
listen,
get disconnected.
Okay, if you listen to what the Force is described as by any old Force user,
sure,
and I use the Bendu, the Ashla and Bogan. If you listen to the words, they sound gender specific, right? Ahsoka even uses the name Ashla in her hiding, right? It can be assumed by the verbiage and the wording that Bogan may be male and Ashla may be female. I don't agree, because they're two sides of the Force, right?
For sure. I'm just saying.
So no, but I'm saying, like, for people that shit on Kathleen for this, she's probably just misspeaking, right? She's not.
I don't think it's that. I think it's as simple as she wants other little girls to feel like they can be a part of Star Wars.
I totally get that, dude. And watching some of these little girls,
I don't overthink that shit.
Watching some of these little girls at Galaxy's Edge or even at Star Cruiser dressed up as Rey with their hair done up, and then they see her and they literally break down crying. That is some fangirl shit that I am down for, right? Because if I had a little girl and that was her hero, that's the kind of stuff I would want them to be doing.
And when I was in middle school, like, the girls in my grades and shit, I'm a Star Wars nerd. They wanted nothing to do with that conversation.
Exactly.
Like, I'm just saying, like, it's different now. I don't know.
Yeah. The reality is, things like Star Wars, when it originally came out and throughout the decades that came afterwards, was primarily focused towards boys.
Well,
that's sword fighting,
truth.
bro.
Yeah,
sword
but that's
fighting.
not to say that girls didn't like it or it wasn't made for girls or anything like that. There was billions of female fans of Star Wars and Star Trek and Lord of the Rings and all this stuff, right? Bringing focus to it is a good thing in essence, but it's how you go about it. Because there are some things that, I'm not saying that this is just Kathleen Kennedy doing this. I'm thinking all of Hollywood. There's some versions of that shove it down the audience's throat, and that's the wrong way to do it. And that's what's ruined it for everything. Because think about the Kenobi series and having some focus on young Leia. I thought that was great. My daughter loved seeing that. It was awesome. It was very cool to see that. But because of the way storytelling around a female character now is, because of what Hollywood has done with it, everyone immediately was like, the show's not about Kenobi. It's crap. It's blah, blah, blah. We've taken everything away. But it was like,
they tried this with Adam Driver, man.
Yeah, they tried to show the 6-pack mod. Come on, guys. I mean, they
messed
tried.
up and they left out the belly button, and
they
everybody was like, I want to see the belly button.
I gotta see the V. Where's the V? But look, ultimately, these characters that are female driven. Look, Leia in the OT trilogy was a straight badass, right? And took no shit from anybody, right? They made strong women characters back in the day, but a
Ellen Ripley
majority
in Alien.
but a majority of the Star Wars characters were male back then.
Yes.
Right? You fast forward to the prequels, there were more females. Natalie Portman's a co-lead, right? We have all these other female Jedi showing up. We see more diversification. There's green skin, blue skin, white skin, black skin. There's everybody, right? And that's fine. But as soon as the lead, it doesn't matter that the lead is a female in the new movies. Everybody can agree. The Force Awakens was a really decent movie. I think most people, even the people that don't like the sequels, can say the first movie was good. But
I loved The Force Awakens. In fact, part of me is still waiting for the continuation of that story.
well, but my point is that you had this strong female lead character. Here we are a decade later, right? And now we have Ahsoka coming out. This is going to be a hard female driven cast, right? So if you're worried about the wokeness of a show, don't watch this shit. Don't watch this shit, because you're gonna have 3 women running around in a spaceship looking for Ezra.
Yeah.
Right? And you're not,
forget the fact that they already existed and we've seen them before and they were accepted before, but now here, let me put it this way. Take the prequels, release them now, exactly as they are, no changes. Pretend the prequels came out this year in 2023. I guarantee you 100% there will be a hate mob of people telling you that Padme has stolen the story away from Anakin.
Oh, yeah.
And Anakin is no longer important and it's
Right.
all crap.
Right.
But it's the same movie. It's the same movie.
Right. And that's my point, is now we have,
imagine it comes out after she's She-Thor.
oh, dude. Right.
Just saying. Just saying.
But this is my point, is now we have, we just got done with Boba Fett and Kenobi that were, in my opinion, hardcore man shows. Right? I mean, even the Mandalorian, there's some stuff going on, but ultimately that's a hardcore dude show too. It hits the dad string, so the women love that Grogu, that when they're doing this shit, it's just it's just like, oh yeah, he's adorable. But ultimately, like, this is about to be the most female driven show, I think, yet.
Yeah, it definitely will be.
And I call it now. Okay, what is it? June 9th. I call it today. That's going to be the headline.
I don't think so, though, because
that's going to be a headline from what I'm saying is from the hate squad, right? The people that hate everything that is Disney, Star Wars, from the hate squad. That's going to be the narrative. It's an all-female cast except for Zeb and Ray Stevenson.
I pray for this franchise that doesn't happen, because in my mind it's going to feel very Rebels. Like, we have the dude that wrote the show. Like, how is this not going to be just a copy paste? The vibe, the ghost,
because Kanan's dead, because Ezra's gone, because Zeb is the only male in the room. Ahsoka, Sabine, Hera, Chop, and Zeb. Oh, and Rex. Okay, so there's one dude, right? And I thought Tem was done with Star Wars because the Mandalorian stole his movie, or stole his show. I thought Tem was done, right? So this just goes to show: don't believe everything you see on YouTube. Oh, Tem's done with Star Wars after the Mandalorian. Yeah, he was probably pissed. It was some bullshit. I thought they could have done more with Boba Fett. I still think they could do a bitch in second season. Jango Fett, all that good stuff. But ultimately, I think the headline is going to be Ahsoka. Ahsoka is the most woke show yet.
Ahsoka, more like Awoka.
Oh, yeah.
no, you just put it in the universe.
This. Did you see the new Star Wars show, Awoka?
Oh God,
That's gonna be the
that's going
gonna
to be in the
headline.
headlines. That
That's
really
the
is.
headline. I'm gonna make that thumbnail tonight.
Yes, have it dated.
I am gonna
The whole
I am
thing,
gonna date it.
timestamp.
That is it, dude. They're gonna call it just that, Awoka. That's exactly what's coming out. Because it's
Sorry.
basically a completely it's awesome.
That boy
But it's
Steve.
Bandhawks right now. That's it. You're
So sorry,
Hey.
everybody. Scotty's back to Diablo right now.
sorry for the interruption, everybody, but he's been banned from the chat thanks to Fat Boy Steve.
I'm already going to hell, so
It's- But the craziest part of all of this is that you are 100% accurate.
Momin made me do it.
Yeah.
No, but am I wrong? I
No,
mean,
That's
am I wrong?
The sad part.
Legitimately, I'm not wrong. That is 100%. Let me. That is
Remember,
100% going to be the dialogue. I'm calling it now, dude,
But why?
because it's an all female driven show.
and it's easy to print an article.
But
Or
what
doing
man?
it-
But what man bad dialogue have they ever
No,
had before?
I'm just saying. Here's the thumbnail. Here's the thumbnail. Awoka, and then those three faces, and that's it.
You know,
Because
articles
it's an
like that.
all-female cast except for Zeb.
Yeah.
At least the characters we know.
But think
Then
about it. The articles with titles like that, they have no substance. They literally write the title
Neither do the
and
videos
start
that have
trying
those
to make
titles.
it-
Let's be
yeah.
honest.
and then they just try to make what's in the content fit that title. All that mattered was the title to get that click, to get the view, to get whatever got somebody to read or hear what
I
this
think
was.
everybody that's in our chat gets that when they have hate videos about Brie Larson, but they put some of the most attractive pictures of her ever in their thumbnails. Like, that's not authentic. Like,
Well, but that's just it. Is that this is going to be what's on thumbnails? I can
Yeah.
see the channels now. I can write them on the wall, and I could cover them until Ahsoka comes out, and then I could reveal them. I could put it under lock and key. I could lock
Yo.
it in a safe behind me. I could mail one of you guys the key. I could do this whole thing. I could leave a 24/7 webcam on that, and I guarantee I could call the channels that will say Awoka.
I'm clipping this with Steve Buscemi from Billy Madison. Because after the show comes out and it's amazing, Obsession's gonna get a phone call. And when the phone call is over, he's gonna grab the lipstick and then he's gonna grab the list and he's gonna cross off geeks and
I wasn't even going there, but okay. I mean, but that's what's going to happen. Look, man, I'm not trying to shit on anybody. Look, send it to Variety, right? I'm not trying to shit on anybody. I'm calling what I see. And what I see is this show is going to hit so many people the wrong way because they don't like Disney, and any opportunity to attack Disney for being woke is a go. It's a green light no matter what the content is.
I'll tell you, my entire
Bro,
life.
I anticipate it being a hashtag.
Oh, it will be. It 100% will be. And I gotta say, like, my entire life, growing up as a kid, young adult, to this moment right now, in anything I've ever watched or read, I have never once counted how many girls there are, how many guys there are, try to factor that in. You know what I'm doing? I'm absorbing a story. I'm learning about characters and what that world is and all of that, and just being entertained. And that's all I could ever ask for as an audience member. I'll give you an example. Remember Endgame?
Yeah,
One of the greatest movies out there in recent years, right?
Sure.
I'm going to go into spoiler
It's full of
territory here,
cameos,
everybody.
But I mean,
But
continue.
right?
Well, so is Star Wars nowadays, apparently. So
But spoiler alert, in case you haven't seen Endgame for some reason, the big end battle. There is a moment in that battle. Well, shouldn't say moment. There's an entire scene that is dedicated
yeah.
all of the female heroes.
Mhm.
And it's one of the most badass moments in that movie. And I remember loving that. I was like, this was the coolest thing. And it didn't take away anything. And it was so cool and awesome. And everything worked out well. And people
Oh
are
my god, it
cheering.
was so woke.
Do you think they all went to the bathroom together before or after?
Did everybody do their makeup?
Asking for a
before that?
friend.
But that scene is there anyone that can tell me that scene was bad?
No.
No, dude.
I mean,
I enjoyed.
unless you had it spoiled for you, like if you were there in the moment, not a
Mhm.
single person in their seat was not excited for that.
Oh, I'm so amped
That
up.
was
It
a
was
double
so
negative. I'm sorry.
cool. It was so cool. But if I guess maybe was that the last moment in Hollywood, in Disney specifically, that was allowed to happen and audiences could accept it?
No, because I think Wakanda Forever was very much of that tone.
Was it? I didn't
I think-
actually watch that one yet, but it's on my list.
I would I enjoy. I mean, I'm a shill of all shills of shills, right? I am Sir Shillington. So I enjoyed it very much. The story was interesting, something different I didn't expect. Again, I'm not a huge Marvel person, so
I mean, it's the Dormalaje. You can't really go wrong.
but yeah, I mean, there was a lot of that in Wakanda Forever, in my opinion. Strong female leads, and I think that might have caught a little bit of the wrath also.
Okay.
But yeah, let's see. I don't think Awoka was actually going to be woke. I think it's not the correct way to get more girls to come in the franchise. Look, I mean, the girls are coming into the franchise organically.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to. I don't think there's a need to bait children at all, or anybody at this point. Either you like it or you don't. I think more women were closet Star Wars fans for a long time because there was no place for girls in Star Wars. At least that was the tone, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Star Wars Meg can attest to this, right? She talks about it, how, that's why she started doing this, was because people told her, you don't belong or some shit. That's, like you were saying, it was a very male driven thing in the 70s and 80s. It was also a different time, right? Like you were saying, release the prequels now, and Natalie Portman steals the show. Hayden Christensen's a cuck, and this is where it is for that, right? I mean, that's the narrative that would come out if the prequels were out now. I'm just calling it as I see it.
Yeah.
This is going to be a narrative. I'm not saying it's going to be the mainstream narrative. I'm not saying that Variety is going to run that article, but I could see a I could see a Mike Zero or somebody like that, putting that out there for clicks. You know how I feel about the clickbait and the click hate. I'm not a big fan. I call it out all the time. But I do think that this is going to be the line for some people. I'm excited. The cast is sick.
Oh yeah,
right?
Looks great.
The pictures. I mean, so we can go. Let's do this.
Yeah, quick, distract me. Chat's triggering me.
They're doing it on purpose. I like it.
Remind me to jump back to Variety later. I don't know.
Are
if
we
you guys...
talking? Well, I do want to talk to you about some stuff that I read today. Okay. So
they put out a video yesterday.
Well, and something came out today that I read also that looked awesome. Okay. So let's just get to the top. Oh, look, Hawks posted an hour ago.
I just saw something about a Zelda movie. I'm gonna have.
That's what I was going to talk to you about. That's why I left it.
Oh my god! Oh my
yeah, they're
god.
shipping that already.
That's already in the works. Okay. So, have you guys seen the trailer? Number one. That's my first question. Matt, have you seen the trailer?
Yep.
Okay, I have not. So let's see. Is this coming out right, or does that look funny? Of course, it looks funny. You know why? Dark mode.
That's the ship they test flew, right? That Hera test flew for what's his name in one of the Rebels episodes.
No, this is a Republic, an older era Republic ship,
it?
I believe.
Yeah. Oh, it was a
This was a senator ship.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I haven't seen it, so we're gonna watch it and then go from there.
It's been a while. Things have changed. I started hearing whispers about Thrawn's return as heir to the Empire. We have to prepare for the worst. The Jedi fell a long time ago. There aren't many left.
Perhaps it is time to begin again.
Ahsoka, original series streaming August.
I thought there was new footage.
That was just a little bit of rearrange of the prior footage, but you notice what they did there. They reference 2 EU things in one shot. They mentioned Heir to the Empire, which everyone I heard was jumping all over and going nuts. They also referenced Jedi Outcast. And that's done on purpose. They're pulling at the heartstrings for that
What's
nostalgia.
Jedi Outcast again?
Yeah, which part of that was Jedi Outcast?
They literally they say it they refer to her as a Jedi Outcast.
Oh, copy that.
And just to have
What happens in Jedi Outcast? That's a game, right?
Yeah, that's one of the games. That's Kyle
the main
Katarn.
storyline of it?
That's the Kyle Katarn stories where because he was originally the one that got the Death Star plans for the Rebels, and then he goes off to not be a Jedi anymore, but then comes back.
Is Mara Jade in that?
She's in the one of the spin-offs of it, like the side quest thing.
Okay, go on.
So, but Kyle Katarn eventually helps Luke build the new Jedi Order. That's where his story progresses to. And to take a character like Ahsoka in many ways is filling the shoes of Kyle Katarn being missing from this version of the story. And then Heir to the Empire involving Thrawn. Obviously, that whole story was redone with the newer trilogy to fit Rebels, which I enjoyed, by the way. Did you guys read the new Thrawn novels?
I don't read, man.
They I read them and then also got the audiobooks for them, which were fantastic. And the way it melded and fit with Rebels was great. It completely changes Heir to the Empire, what we originally got, but both are great stories. But this Ahsoka show is going to take that nostalgia of these things from the EU, again, piecemealing, taking pieces throughout the EU and inserting it however they want to make it fit. And I think it's a good idea. I think that's a way to bring fans together. Because the other thing, too, is the vast majority of audiences, they don't know anything about the EU. They don't know what Heir to the Empire is. They don't know what any of that is.
Well, and so we're going to talk about, I mean, this is something that I was talking about a long time ago, is that Sabine is absolutely going to fight with Ezra Saber.
Yeah.
And the great thing about it is she knows how to fight with Ezra Saber, right? This is not the first time that she's used Ezra Saber. You know, there's going to be a lot of callbacks to Rebels in this.
Yes.
And more so with Sabine, I think, than anything, because you know, that whole relationship was more complicated than people understood. And then on top of that, they trained together, right? So
and Kanan trained her as well. So there was a lot that
we
went
talk
into
about the other saber in the room. Everyone thinks not that one, Matt. Jeez.
Ooh,
everyone thinks that saber is with Shin, the blonde.
Kanan Saber is with Shin.
Right.
That okay, so for me, that doesn't bite. Only because Kanan Saber never left the Imperial Dome on Lothal.
She tries to give it to Thrawn.
She
That one chick.
well
Trice?
the
Is that her
governor
name?
shows it to Thrawn. Thrawn is
Yes.
off world. Thrawn is in his ship with
Okay.
Palpatine,
Okay.
and he hears about the fuel depot exploding and how it jeopardizes his TIE Defender program, and how he sends her. They're on the HoloNet, and he tells her, "I will deal with you when I get back." So she has the saber. Then Ezra kidnaps her. Then that whole thing goes down, but ultimately it never really leaves her office on the dome, and so we can basically come to the assumption that Price, thank you,
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
that it is gone, that Kanan Saber is completely gone.
Okay, but what if now you have Ezra and Thrawn together in the unknown regions, and Thrawn has these two Jedi already on his side, not in the unknown regions, and because Thrawn's from out there, he has a way to communicate between back and forth. Like he gets back, right? We kind of assume he gets back on his own, and Ezra's, we don't really know where he is. Or do you assume that scene is Thrawn in the unknown regions? I guess let's start there.
I assume that I think that shot is not on board a Star Destroyer.
So what I'm kind of getting at is I would not put it past Thrawn remembering who has that saber, exactly where it is, sending those two Jedi to go retrieve it because he knows what that would do to Ezra and instructs them to bleed the crystals. I'm very curious about these two Jedi and if those are found sabers. One, if it's found sabers, is clearly not Kanan's. But if they're not found sabers, did they bleed their own? There's some backstory there I need to know about.
Yeah.
They're not only survivors, they have red sabers.
Well, they're orange.
Weird ass red sabers at
really
that.
red.
Yeah, they're kind of an orange tint. Yeah.
I think they're found.
Honestly, I mean, so the rumor is, spoiler alert, get out if you don't want to hear it. Rumor is that these two Jedi were hired by Thrawn pre or post Purgle.
Agreed.
So that's the current rumor, is that these two are working for Thrawn. It's hard to bite on that.
On what specifically? Sorry.
Well, I mean, it seems like if it's pre, then instead of killing Jedi that he's finding out in the galaxy like he's supposed to be doing, right? Thrawn's a good little bitch when he's in the Empire, right? His whole mission is to please the Emperor, so the Emperor one day will help him go back to his people and defend.
He's not driving the bus, but yeah.
But basically he's a good little soldier, right? Good soldiers follow order, and Thrawn's a good soldier, right? That's why he's been promoted to Grand Admiral, right? I'm still of the thought he is ISB. He is the head of the ISB. That's why he's got the white cloak, the white robes on, is because he's ISB and he's high-ranking ISB. But it seems to me if this was done beforehand, then that's him misbehaving. That's him going against the Emperor's wishes to bring all Jedi to the Inquisitors to get killed or drawn into the fold. To me, this seems more like he found two Jedi after.
Yeah, the two of them survive and choose the life of mercenaries basically just to get by.
Right.
That is the backstory that we know of.
Where did that come from?
That is coming from basically Jason Ward. The Empire magazine article confirmed that they're survivors of Order 66, and then he went into all of the stuff that he knows.
Well, I mean, so
I am basing it off of that, but he's pretty on the nose with stuff.
They don't tell us where Thrawn comes from. Number one, right? They never say, well, this is Grand Admiral Thrawn. We just know he's in charge of the 7th Fleet, right? That's all we really know is the 7th Fleet has been given to him. Now, we don't know that he's not ISB, because if you look at all of the uniforms that the Empire wears, they're all the same color, unless you've got rank. And not even Tarkin wears white. Tarkin dresses like every other commander,
And he's wearing white in the where we see his back, where in the trailer.
Thrawn is always wearing white.
Yeah, he does are currently.
Thrawn is from scene 1 to end times. Thrawn is always rocking the white. And he had just got promoted to Grand Admiral. When we first see Thrawn show up, he was just promoted by the Emperor to Grand Admiral. Now, we see the ISB in Andor, and they all have the same uniform as Thrawn. His is just tighter, and because he's in good shape and he's brick house. But ultimately, they're all wearing that white uniform, and the only people we see wearing that white uniform is ISB officers. So, well, I mean, again, if this is a continuation of Rebels, or if this is in any way connected to Rebels, as it should be if it's canon, where does he, I mean, ultimately, when we see him here and now, technically he was a Grand Admiral. He was wearing white, and white uniforms indicate ISB Imperials.
This was in the newer Thrawn books. I was just double checking it because I know they talked about the ISB in those books. It was actually Yularen basically told Thrawn, if the Imperial Navy decides to be done with you, you have a place at the ISB.
Right.
But I don't know I don't recall if he ever officially took that place, but the ISB was paying attention to Thrawn's activities and how he conducted his soldiers and all of that. So,
well, and that's kind of why I want, that's kind of why it's nothing that's been formally discussed in anywhere that Thrawn was part of the ISB. I'm just connecting the dots the way that we do, and connecting the dots is only the white. And this is something that we caught from Andor. I mean, we saw Krennic in Rogue One, and he was ISB, even though he was in charge of his Death Star project, his Stardust project. He was still technically considered ISB, right? He sat at the big table. So it just seems like those white uniforms are designated for that station, right? But ultimately, it seems like it would be after hiring those two Jedi would be after. So this would be.
Yeah. So I'm like, where does Thrawn's allegiance lie now that he's got shot out into the unknown regions, comes back? Like, why does he stay loyal to the Empire?
Again, power.
He's trying to literally be the heir. Like, is that the story that they're
trying to take Palpy's place?
Yeah.
It's about his people overall, about the Chiss. So the way those novels end off, the ones that are now fit into Rebels, there's another character that I'm really curious if he's going to come into play in Ahsoka. His name was Eli Vanto. He worked very closely with Thrawn throughout those. He was basically assigned to work with Thrawn to kind of be almost like practically a translator at first, and then to keep an eye on him, and then they became very close. Those books ended with Vanto going with the Chiss and staying with them. He went with the Chiss fleet back out into the unknown regions, and Thrawn had him do this, to kind of be able to get word back and forth and to keep them protected. But his overall goal is to protect his kind. And Thrawn knows there's another threat coming. So there's some things that he feels is bigger than the Empire, but he wants to use the Empire in his favor. So there's a lot of things they could potentially do, but I don't know if they're going to go that deep in this show. There's a lot they set up in those novels that they could do, but it might turn audiences off. Maybe it might be too deep.
Well, real quick, this is the time when the remnants of the empire are still around, and the local governors have basically tried to take control of their stations. This is lead up to the First Order, right? Everybody's scrounging for the scraps. So let's I don't want to keep this all night. This is something that's come across. I've seen a lot of this chat. Do you think this is the eighth brother? Or is this what everybody else is saying? Is this Star Killer? This has been an ongoing discussion around the water coolers, let's say, that this could potentially be Star Killer. Now, I am of the school of, nah, bro. This is 100% the eighth brother.
Well, everyone's saying because the eighth brother is alien, and this person has a human hand.
I mean,
so that's the clear. Yeah, dude, I had to look that shit up too. Eighth brother has like three fingers.
Did you?
Four fingers. I can bring up the
Really?
picture. Yeah.
Is there another angle of this Inquisitor? Is that
this picture is pretty telling?
I'm just trying to gauge if that's a female figure.
No, it's not. I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
So you're saying...
Yeah, you pull that up, you can see the hand. Because I thought so too, and then the internet debunked me.
Similar helmet. But yeah, you're right. Look at that
wire
hand.
base. Yep.
Like 2 thumbs and...
mm-hmm. And then there's that one.
Yeah, it's
can't really tell. I mean, I don't know. Is it just a glove? Is it? I don't know.
It's a smaller helmet design.
The helmet
but
comes
it's
in.
the grading. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But is that? Oh, he just kicked himself out. But is that just an Inquisitor? Is that just what the Inquisitorious armor is meant to look like? You know what I mean? All of similar fashion. So I don't know, but I like that Star Killer theory.
I didn't hear that theory, but I mean,
what about that saber? Does the saber look familiar, chat? Outside of the ring on it, I don't know. Do they modify their Jedi
got a slim build?
Oh, I don't know about this rabbit hole.
I mean, the word is, word out the water cooler is this, this could be their way of introducing Star Killer. And I'm like, nah, bro. That looks like the eighth brother to me. Like, fingies aside.
Yeah.
It's easy to do in animation. I mean, I guess they could have put a green glove on him and then like made his digits stick together so it looked like 3 digits. They could have done it.
Or because everyone thinks he's dead, he's hiding his identity. Wearing gloves.
You know what? Do you have the that other picture? I want to look at the body armor.
Yep, we can go right back.
Oh, he's blocking it.
There's tons of shots of that dude. Hold on.
Yeah. I want to see the chest plate.
Shots of that dude.
I don't think you're gonna find much.
Oh, I got it, dude.
I mean, as far as similarities, but
yeah, like the shoulder guards and kind of the electronics on the torso.
Okay, so let's go.
Oh yeah, Daniel Fisher saying about having to tone down Star Killer. Yeah, that would be because they would have to tone down Cal Kestis if he moved into live action. It's just you don't bring video game into show or movie. It always has to be toned down.
How y'all got me thinking?
Okay, here. Here you go. Present, share screen. Okay. So that's his.
It's got the
Hmm.
shoulder guards going
Right. So
Mhm.
there's
and the
that.
small bit of lighting.
Let's see. Hold on.
Oh, and the black gloves.
Mhm.
Hold on. Okay. So that's his mitt.
Yep.
That's the mitt they're talking about, right?
Mhm.
The four fingy.
Mhm.
And this isn't one that Maul kills in this scene.
This is
Yeah.
this is the one that falls off of the. All right,
Yep.
Let me get there.
Off the edge.
There's a better shot.
Uh-huh.
Like it looks like if anything, the side he just ditched the fins.
Mm.
Right.
Wait. Stay on this shot. I mean, look at her on the left. That's the shoulder guards. That's the torso piece.
But they all have pretty much the same armor, though.
Yeah, I think it's just design.
Yeah.
Same with the grates.
Right. Like,
They're all just meant to look the same.
hold on. Let's go forward right here.
These episodes were so good.
Oh, dude, I just rewatched this twice. Like the whole season, twice.
Mm.
Here we go. Come on, give it to me. There we go.
Oh my God, look at that shot.
They're gonna say it. They're gonna be like, it's the
Hmm.
shadow. I call him a shadow. All right, let's go back to. But my point being is that it just seems like this is a more logical. It's right off the bat too. Yeah.
Yeah. God, even that's a great shot. My God, this show was so beautiful.
It's really good. Okay, so there's a good shot of him on the side,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it just seemed. Yeah, it could be just a case of reducing the helmet size for the sake of the live action.
Oh, yeah. I mean, really. So his helmet doesn't look huge,
Yeah.
right? I mean, it's too similar. It just to me seems like it's more likely this guy because we didn't see him. You know, we see them later on the temple, right? When you flash forward a little bit and you see him, he's the only one that survives the show. Right? Like that's also part of what I'm talking about is like
He's the one that takes off. Okay.
He's the only one that survives, right? She gets got right here, right? And then they move forward to help Kanan and all them. And then right here, his stuff shorts out. There's a good shot of him right there. That's a great shot. Right?
And there's the two lights, the red lights on the torso.
Let's do this. Let's make it big. Right? So yeah, there's the two lights on the torso, the helmet, right? And then we go just stop share, and then we present the other screen, right? Inquisitor theory.
Yes, Kay, you're right. It would look like Dark Helmet if they left it that big.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. So it just
you went over my helmet.
I mean, if this is another Inquisitor, man, they're just handing out his dead man's armor, right? Like they're just giving up a dead man's armor if that's what they're doing. So.
Yo, I'm gonna say something crazy.
Oh no,
you no,
yeah,
inconceivable.
You know who I think that is? Oh, actually, no, because the timeline won't. The timelines won't.
And it keeps getting funnier every single time I see it.
We're in the future parts of the timeline now, right?
Yes,
post Vader comic, post everything.
Post everything.
Majority of the Inquisitors are dead, right?
Mm-hmm.
Grand Inquisitor included, all of them.
It should be, yeah.
Yeah. I want it to be the Grand Inquisitor. I don't know why.
What if that's Ezra?
Not Inquisitor.
Just saying.
Not Inquisitor.
What if that? Because see,
not
listen,
Inquisitor.
These trailers are designed to throw us off. I think that's Ezra.
No.
Yo.
We're too far post him encountering all of them and Maul and everything.
No, I mean, that's exactly why I think it's him. He could be in disguise. Ezra was the king of sneaking into places disguised as other people.
Disguise himself and then fight himself.
Disguise himself and fight. That's him fighting Ahsoka. Or it could be. Maybe
that.
Hmm?
He disguises himself and then fights Ahsoka. Make it make sense.
No,
If he-
but ultimately,
Why is he
If-
fighting Ahsoka?
what if? Well, isn't there a lot of rumor that Ezra's not quite so good anymore?
So he went dark side, found
What
an
if-
Inquisitor saber, or he's been in contact with Vader himself. Like it's
Or
a
he
lot.
just-
There's a lot
or
of
that's
building
just-
we got to do.
But that could just be now part of his. He likes to collect. He keeps armor. He keeps helmets. He keeps all kinds of stuff. He's a slim build.
I mean, that's an interesting theory, dude. To be honest, that's a real interesting theory because
There could be something. It could be a turn, or this could be part of the. I know there's rumors of kind of visions happening and things like that. That
oh,
a
so you're
lot
saying this could be an Ezra that gave in,
similar to how you get Star
Mm.
Killer when he's in Force Unleashed 2, he's good, but he gets these visions of his dark self, and there is the alternate timeline of Dark Star Killer.
Well, they did say that she was going to look into a bunch of different scenes from alternate choices, so to speak, through potentially the world between worlds. So, that's
I'm just the
an
wheels are
interesting
turning. That I may not have all the pieces together yet, but I feel like with the way these trailers work, they're meant to mislead us on purpose. So a lot of this could be flashbacks. A lot of it could be Force visions. This could be, freaking Empire Strikes Back cave vision. Like this is that type of a style that could be happening. And I would love to see Darkseid Ezra. He's already tapped into it. He probably still has that holocron.
Well, no.
Did he keep
the
it?
holo-
No, the Bender
holocron was
destroyed
put
it.
into Malachor to open.
Was it
it.
put?
No.
Okay, that was.
The holocron was destroyed with Maul when they
was
joined
destroyed.
the two. When they joined the two holocrons.
Even still, Ezra has several times, not just what we saw, but what had happened in the time between the episodes. He spent a lot of time tapping into the dark side. And I don't fully trust Ezra as a hero. I think he could become a villain.
I want to know where that shot came from, though. That's what I want to know because I'm looking everywhere
What
for
shot?
that. Was that a vanity? Was that a piece that was released?
What shot?
This Inquisitor, like
Empire
where?
Magazine.
That's from Empire Magazine.
Yep. Yeah, and I'm speculating the planet that they're fighting on too now that you're mentioning Star Killer, because other than the spaceport, like the homies standing in woods that look a lot like Mustafar after the VR game.
There's lots
Star
of
Killer
places
could
in
be there,
Mustafar.
chilling in Vader's castle, bro. Like
We
God
only saw
dang.
a small portion of Mustafar in Revenge
I'm on
of
the Star
Sith.
Killer track. Like, do that.
This also looks a lot like the planet that. This also looks a lot like the planet that she met Din Djarin on.
Yeah, where the magistrate is. It's
Yes.
well, so yes, it's Corvus. Corvus is the planet.
So this is. I guess this is the picture, right?
Yep, that's the one.
It looks like. I mean, the background could be Corvus.
The Ezra actor is confirmed,
Corvus
right?
is in Battlefront.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Ezra actor is confirmed. Yeah. Yeah, see, that's interesting. I mean, that's an interesting thought.
I don't know. I have a feeling. I don't know what it is. They call it a tremor in the Force.
No, I mean that's really interesting because
I
what
mean-
an interesting twist if Thrawn has made it back to the Empire, if Thrawn has made it back to even getting back, Ezra's got that. It could be. I mean, that's
does Ahsoka know where Vader's castle is?
Mustafar.
Does she know where she's been there?
I don't know if she
Anyone's talked
does.
about it.
No,
That
they
would
say
be a dope place for her to visit in the show.
all
That
that
would
they
be dope.
say, all that she says about Mustafar is that's where Jedi go to die. That's all that they mention in Rebels is that Mustafar is a system that Jedi go to die.
If she's getting all these visions of what would have been, what could have been, and one of them's Mustafar, she could go there.
She could go to Mustafar. That's, I mean,
although at this point in the
such a
story,
sick callback to the VR game, dude.
oh my god!
If people have not played the VR game, it came out a long time ago. I don't want to try to spoil it, but Mustafar is healing. Like the planet itself is healing. So the regrowth of trees, vegetation is
that looks very similar to Kylo Ren's dance off with his saber.
That was Mustafar,
and that was again, yes.
That's so. I mean, that could be Ahsoka on Mustafar,
damn similar.
or
all the trees look black as hell.
Or Ezra on Mustafar.
Why do that to me?
Ezra on Mustafar, because Thrawn knew where Mustafar was.
Yep.
Man, that's that. I mean, Ezra, Starkiller, Inquisitor number 8. It's up in the air, you know.
Solid. Chat. Pat yourselves on the back.
Solid night.
Good work.
Solid night of investigative journalism, gentlemen. Solid night.
See, this is, I love playing off of chat because everybody in chat's coming up with ideas, and this is what gets the wheels turning. This is why I'm like, oh, I love it.
It can also be Corvus, because that is the planet where Ahsoka meets him, and if you remember that the creatures were well off in the background, and all the woods were burned away. So
yeah,
well, and it
can be Corvus. That's where the magistrate is too.
It would be an interesting point to put that in the story right after that, like even before she goes to see Luke, like a meeting and finishing the Inquisitor that was hunting her after he lost her or whatever, right? Because if you think about it, how interesting would it be? Okay, so here's an interesting thought. Could Ahsoka be looking into the world between worlds on Malachor?
Go.
And could the Inquisitor that didn't die when his spinny helicopter lightsaber died on him be stuck on Malachor also, and be there when Ahsoka comes out? So, and hunting her after she leaves Malachor, because my ongoing theory is she doesn't leave Malachor until after Vader's dead, because she doesn't want him hunting her. She knows she's out of time. She knows she's in the wrong spot, and she stays on Malachor until Vader's dead. So what would be 5 more years? So she stays on Malachor for 5 years until Vader dies, and that's when the Inquisitor finds her.
Yeah,
Kylo was on Mustafar, and they confirmed that in like encyclopedias and other things.
Yes,
the book.
Well, and the web of the web of the bog also was a scene that was supposed to be shot and in the scene in the movie, but didn't make it.
And that thing is phenomenal.
But
probably one of the best things Star Wars has ever done.
But I mean, this is all solid speculation. Could it be Ezra? Could it be Starkiller? Could it be just the Inquisitor? Is it, where are we going out of the gate? There's so much that we don't know right now. And I got to be honest, I'm excited. I'm more excited for the show today than I was yesterday because of all of this, because we haven't really talked about it. We haven't broken anything down. We haven't looked at the trailer together really. So this is a great start to the summer of Ahsoka, because I think as we go on, they're going to release more trailers. We're going to get more interviews. We're going to see more of this and that. Obviously, we're not going to get any interviews with Ray Stevenson because he passed away last week. So ultimately, I think there is going to be more. Seeing the pictures of Hera, seeing Mary Weinstein, Obi-Wan's wife.
Yeah, I don't remember her name.
Let's see Auteta's wife. It's Mary something. Anyway, she's playing Hera. She looks awesome as Hera. Sabine, the actress that's playing Sabine, looks fantastic. Obviously, we know Rosario's in there. We haven't even talked about the young lady that's cast as young Ahsoka yet. We're going to save that for next time. There's more Ahsoka summertime coming. We're going to have Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Thank you. I was close. It was a Stead, not a Steen. yeah, there's still a lot to go through, and I think we're gonna leave it at that because I know that
Can
yeah, what do
we
you can do whatever you want.
okay, real fast. This image won't save and this freaking ad is in the way.
The heck?
But we've talked about Ahsoka on or inside the Temple of Malachor before.
Right.
And I'm trying to bring up these images because this is official 2016 Topps trading cards, and the art is by Dave Filoni.
You mean these?
So he's all, and if you pay attention to this, he's literally already told us what's going to happen with her. So if you pull that up,
You mean this? You mean this
we
one?
shared this about a week. We've shared this years on end since he's done it, man.
This
So
one?
yes,
What else?
yes. If you want to pull mine up, I got all 8 of them.
Three?
But
Yeah.
I hate you.
Number four.
Super terrible, terribly blurred here, but
That's okay. That's it. That does it
dude,
justice.
the more eyes in here. There's a world between worlds right here with the wolves. So
So
there's
yeah,
visions of Vader haunting her. He's over here. But you can look these up. 2016 Dave Filoni Topps trading cards.
yeah, and this was after the show had aired, right?
Mm-hmm.
This was once the show was this after the show was over?
This all came out after the fact, yeah.
Yeah. So
He
this
had
is after,
so many drawings.
This
There's
is-
another one of her standing on top of a evergreen tree, and her lake hue are literally to her ankles, blowing off in the wind. So, I know we hear her voice in The Rise of Skywalker, but if she lives as long as she's meant to, with them growing that much, like, she's old. I don't
she's
know.
old. She's old. And the only reason that they didn't do long tendrils is because they wouldn't play well in the fight scenes. That's the
Right.
only reason they
I
cut
remember
them.
him saying that.
Aside from that, they tried their best to make them, like Shock T's, but just with the fight scenes and stuff, they just couldn't make it happen. Look, you're absolutely right. We're gonna go over these cards next time. We're gonna go over young Ahsoka, the young lady that was cast for young Ahsoka. We have not seen a lick of footage with her. We have not heard anything about what she's playing, how she's doing it. Is she going to be the one fighting Vader in the World Between Worlds mural? There is so much that,
Oh, nice.
there's so much that we don't know right now. And they're going to be releasing bit by bit, little by little. That's my favorite part of the whole story so far, is we haven't seen the young Ahsoka actress that was cast for this, the girl from House of the Dragons. We haven't seen anything about her. We haven't seen a scene of her in makeup yet. Nobody has released an image with her in makeup yet. So I'm really excited to get to that next time. Next time we're going to talk about her. Next time we're going to talk about the cards, because I have them here and we can break them down into order and series. I did a video about it years ago. You can go ahead and check that out if you want to check back on it. But this is all stuff. I'm glad you brought that up because I want more content for the next time we do this. I'm not sure what day of the week it's going to be. It's going to be a day when we could all get together. It might be earlier or later, depending on what day we do it. But I'm glad we got together. It's been a long time since this group has sat down together. I open this up next time to bring in our homies, Dan, maybe even Nerd Mafia. He doesn't invite me to his parties, but I invite him to mine. But yeah, I think we should definitely open this up next time to the chat a little bit. Maybe we'll scrounge some time for that. But ultimately, I'm really happy to be back. It's been a month that we took off just to let the Survivor stuff air out. And yeah, man, everything is coming in good. I have a lot of hope for what's coming. Dave, I still hold faith in Dave.
Likewise.
I still believe in Dave. So yeah, guys, I think that's it. I think we're going to jump out of here. I think always my co-hosts and cohorts in crime, the Matt Cave Gaming. Matt Cave Gaming is now is it the Matt Cave Gaming or is it Matt Cave Gaming?
Matt Cave Gaming.
Matt Cave Gaming is the new title. Get down there. I will put the link in the description after we're done here. As always, Hawks Holocron. We're going to be doing more gaming. Season 3 of Fortnite just came out, and it looks like season 4 of DMZ is coming out. Diablo is out. There is all kinds of gaming going on over at Hawk's page. He's making new intros. He's making new outros. He's making new shit. New
I got
content.
transitions, y'all.
There's transitions. There's all kinds of stuff happening over there. So get over there and check him
We're doing
out.
giveaways soon. I got details on that.
From the Outer Rim. Hawks Holocron is getting it done from the Outer Rim. He says, Outer Rim be damned We're going to still do this, and he is getting it done. We've been killing it on Diablo. I'm level 40 now. I think I passed you guys. I'm done with Act 4.
You did.
So catch up. Everybody else, thank you for being here, guys. I missed you guys. It was great to see you. As always,
yeah.
Don't forget, spay and neuter your pets, help control the pet population. Don't forget, tell your loved ones the truth. Tell them what you think. Tell them that you love one. Every day you get a chance, because you never know what tomorrow brings. And as always, may the force be with you. Be safe. We'll catch you next time.